I want to talk about a red snake that flies up like an eagle. This is the symbolism of Mayan astrology, and I'm going to be talking about my birth wave, a process which 1 in every 20 people is born with. In my wave, I'm born as a red snake 3. Now, snake is all about passion, about body wisdom, about instinct. And one of the things that I come to do here is to incite that passion and that body wisdom in others. Because tone 3 is the tone of relationships, the tone of motion, of what you set in motion within others. And so, one of the things, like I said, that I come to do is to set in motion body wisdom in others. Now, this can go in various ways. Um, what I've come to find is that if you don't live your wave, if you don't do what you have come here to do, you'll still be doing it. In the sense that if you don't help people to find body wisdom from a place of strength, from a place of standing in your own body wisdom, then you'll help set in motion body wisdom in others from a place of victimhood, from a place of not being healthy, not taking care of your body, and thereby showing others the importance of doing so. What I'm working on right now is transforming that into strength, moving into standing in my power, standing in my body wisdom, and trying to help others from a place of body wisdom as opposed to from a state of dishealth. Which of course can be a great way to learn, and it makes sense that one starts focusing on one's health after first going deep down the rabbit hole. That's not the right reference, but you get what I mean. Hitting rock bottom. Another part of this wave is the goal of the wave, tone 13, which in my case is Blue Eagle. Now, Blue Eagle it is in some ways the opposite of a red snake. The eagle flies high up above. The eagle likes to get that overview and see things from afar and keep a little distance, and look at the bigger pictures. And what can happen, of course, with an eagle is getting a bit stuck in one's head and one's mind and focusing on all the theory and the ideas. The ego who can oversee everything can see all the wonderful potentials, and this is something I very much recognize, that I'm good at seeing the potentials, and I can really have a tendency to get stuck in seeing, oh, this could happen and that could happen. It's beautiful, all of these possibilities. But if you're so focused on all the possibilities, do you still get anything done, right? That's the important thing. And if you can see how it could be, this is another thing that the ego can have. If you can see how good it could be, you can get fixated on thinking that that's how it should be. And you can get very idealistic and think, okay, this is how the world should be because I can see that this is best, so this is how everything should be. You see, the ego, the shadow side of the ego, is very well illustrated, I think, in the Western imperialism, in the idea of bringing democracy and freedom from the West to other countries. This is a very good example of that ego, which sees how it could be from a perspective of this is how we think it's ideal, and so this is what we need to spread to the world. And I recognize this within myself as well, this tendency to think that I, from overview and from theory and from looking at it from afar, cannot see, well, that's how it should be. And And then the eagle has to get down on the ground. But an eagle down on the ground, standing on the ground, they're a bit vulnerable. They're a bit uncomfortable, you know. An eagle flies high up above. And then when an eagle stands on the ground, they don't really know how to do these things. And all of a sudden, the theory from high up above doesn't make that much sense anymore. The eagle, in its strength, can see the overview, but only goes to that overview in order to find the next mouse, and then he dives down to catch the food that is necessary for survival. Another thing about this wave would be the theme. Tone 1, the blue knight. Knight without a K. The blue knight is the young child, is the curious child, the child that is unbothered, not carrying a heavy load, but simply looking around and thinking, oh, that's wonderful, oh, that's interesting. To be in that energy of the child who is curious, who is just trying to figure things out and doesn't have a fixated idea. Maybe not even trying to figure it out, right? It's just observing and experiencing, and it's that energy of innocence. It's a certain uniqueness as well. This is what the knight represents, to be that own unique self and not have all these ideas about how you should be behaving, but just, yeah, look and see and be unbothered by ideas about what one should be or should do. From this innocence, we go to that snake, we go all the way to that great overview, that eagle who feels responsibility and looks at the bigger picture and the bigger things in life. In order to get there, we come also by tone 7, the red moon. And the red moon is about the flow of a river. The moon is this flowing river, and emotions and actions and things can just flow easily through it. Unless a stone gets in the way and rock blocks up the river or dirt gets in there, you know. The moon is a purifying energy, an energy of trauma healing and letting it flow and allowing it to come back into flow, where we can start to cooperate again, where everything has a place and everything works together to accomplish something and to really let things flow. The moon is also about remembering our past, remembering the way of life, remembering that you were once a bird and how we have grown, you know, to remember where we've come from is what the moon is about. And to thereby remembering becomes also redefining our memories. When we get into trauma healing, we look at our memories and we take another good look and see what's stuck, what's broken, what are we holding on to that needs to flow, that needs to be given to the river again. That is the energy of the moon. And another part of this wave is the red skywalker on tone 11. And the red skywalker, first actually, tone 11 is our learning point, our challenge. It's this thing that we need to learn and discover, that we need to step into and experience and express. But it can be really a challenge. It can be difficult, sometimes because we don't do it at all, or sometimes because we overdo it. And And the Red Skywalker is about walking both the sky and the earth. It's about discovering, going on adventure, and discovering new worlds, whether that's in a forest or sitting in meditation and discovering new worlds up there somewhere or down there, right? Whatever it is that you're working with. But to then also bring that back into your physical life, right? So it's walking the sky, walking the spiritual realms and all the worlds that you might be able to discover in the universe and the galaxy and everything, but to then bring it home, to then bring it back to taking steps on this planet. That's what the Skywalker is about, to take spiritual perspectives, to take the divine principles and put them into reality, into action, into physical life. You see, it's about this balance we talked about with the eagle earlier, right? You can fly high up above, but you have to understand how to walk the earth as well. And this is what the Skywalker can teach us, that we can discover so many things on our adventures, but then we have to learn, how do we tell the story so that anyone is actually helped by it? And how do we apply the theory to our lives so that we are actually still surviving and living, and we're not just sitting in our heads somewhere? Now, as it goes with a wave in Mayan astrology, we learn from this learning point, and through that we can go to this goal of eagle. So in order to fly that eagle responsibly, in order to see the overview but also know when to dive down to catch a mouse instead of staying in this beautiful view, right? We have to first learn about the Skywalker. We have to go through the processes of the moon. We have to walk the earth like a snake. And there are so many more layers and there's more signs to this wave, but this is just giving you a little bit of insight into what you can see in Mayan astrology, and into the process that I've been working with in this lifetime, which is quite fun. I hope you learned something from that, or enjoyed that, or maybe just learned something about me. And I'm looking forward to describing more things because I like Mayan astrology. I hope someone else likes it too.